Action.
Hey, this is James, the Beach Bum. I'm here with Crypto Champ, cryptocurrency expert, and also world traveler. He's also former military, and he's been retired and living down here for a few months. And I want to do an interview of what's it like living in the Dominican Republic. What are some of the things that you had to adjust to, and how are you enjoying it so far?
Well, being here for the short time I've been here, the 4 months, it's been a transition. The curfew has gotten more drastic, but the population and the visitors are more frantic as well. So I guess it's one hand washes the other. Being retired really helps out coming down here because you have a certain amount of monetary income that you can have and budget off of. That's what it's really all about when you come down here, is budgeting and not letting somebody else's pockets lead your life. And with the crypto, I believe it was 3 questions. The third question was about the cryptocurrency. You just always got to stay green and live off profit, not do nothing drastic and frantic.
So I know that you actually run a cryptocurrency course teaching a lot of brothers, not just African American males, but everybody that comes down here to the DR about cryptocurrency, financial education, how to properly maintain your finances. So how have your classes been growing so far?
By word of mouth, they've been going pretty good. The first class was just a group of my friends, and then each one teaches one or tells one. So the last class was about 25 members in. Still doing donations. I just really want to educate people because I believe the dollar, the fiat, and everything is getting ready to crumble. So have your money somewhere else. Don't have all your eggs in one basket.
What got you into cryptocurrency? When did you first hear about it? And what actually made you start investing?
When I was working overseas in the UAE, I got up with some intelligent people that were on the brink of it. They were buying ICOs and IPOs, initial coin offer, initial
Public offering.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Initial public offering, and we were buying it with NEO. I didn't really know what was going on. Bitcoin might have been at 8,000 then. I think it might be at 8,000 now, so to speak. But I just got in with some smart people that were working and using their money in other ways outside of vacationing and everything.
So what do you feel about the growth of Bitcoin? Because I've heard about Bitcoin many years ago, like when it was actually only like a few cents at that. And as a tech guy, I didn't believe in it, but now for the last, I'd say 5 years, it's been booming. A lot of people have been able to buy cars, houses with Bitcoin. So what are some of the things that you've seen people actually purchase with Bitcoin? And have you also seen some of the growing need for Bitcoin in Latin America?
Yeah. I mean, they need another service because Western Union out here is making a killing. There's really no other monetary way of moving money outside of debit cards and Western Union. I feel as if another currency comes down and takes over. And it's just like, back in the 1900s with the gold rush, when everybody had to turn in their gold and get dollars and bonds and all that kind of shit. It's just basically the same thing over. This is just a new form of currency, being that everything is digital. So there are a lot of startup companies and startup coins that are starting at pennies, of a fraction of a pennies that you can get into, and if they flip up to a penny, that's how a lot of people are getting their millions overnight, like Ripple, Neo, Cardano is a good one. When you hear Bitcoin is like the very first and is able to be associated, just like English is the first language that everyone speaks, but just like Spanish and Portuguese, there are other coins out that you can learn to get a lot more money off of in other areas.
So what type of advice would you give to not only former military moving down here, but also other expats that are looking to make that transition from the United States or Europe to the Dominican Republic?
Come over here humble, don't bring a whole lot of clothes, and pace yourself. That's pretty much it, pace yourself. Some guys come down here and lose their mind, out here on these streets walking up and down. I guess with the curfew, it really puts a lot of people in perspective, but I think when this curfew ends up and everybody starts coming down, it's going to be spring break 1999 again. So I would just say, in moderation. A lot of guys are getting jewelry stolen from them, so don't bring any of your prized possessions down here because these girls are very, very, very sneaky and deceptive. So, if you want your prized possessions kept, keep them in a safe place, even in your rooms and in your safes.
I noticed that something about you, you're very big into health, you're very big into exercise and eating healthy. What advice would you give to people that are looking for the right diet for them in the Dominican Republic? Is it easy to find those foods? And also, what type of supermarkets or restaurants do you tend to target when staying within like your health space?
Well, with the supermarket, we got a Super Polo that's right up the way, and it's just walking distance, so that's where I get all my stuff from. And I've been vegan for about 7 years. I just started dabbling in a little fish down here, so I guess you could say I'm pescatarian, but, excuse me. I would just say don't eat loose, don't live life loose and don't eat loose. Just because it's an option on the menu doesn't mean you have to get it. The chicken, the bacon, the beef, all that shit tastes the same. Ever since I've been born and it's been cooking in the 80s, it ain't never changed. The chefs may change, but the food never changes. So with that being said, you're basically living life in monotony. So, try something different. There's 50,000 different fruits and vegetables. Try one. Even if it's just one a day, try one.
What type of advice would you give for a guy like me? I'm 28 at the time of this recording. What type of advice would you give for a guy like me living down here in the Dominican Republic?
Kill yourself. No,
Kill myself?
I'm just messing. I would say, being that I'm retired, I don't really have to worry about, a lot of different things that a lot of other people worry about. The weekend warriors, they come in with a certain amount of money and they blow it, so the economy's kind of toppled. But a young person that's out here trying to grind and get it, come down here with your own perspective, come down here with your own mentality. Don't let nobody sway you. A lot of times you can come down here and get up with your friends and get up with other people and start becoming a sloth and becoming lazy and complacent. But if you stick to your own rhythm, work out, hit a lot of players around here. I'm not talking about pimps, I'm talking about like the beaches. Just get in your own groove and stick to it.
Now, what would you say about the real price of goods here, such as food, taxi rides, and everything, versus the gringo price? The price for the guys that are flaunting their money, the ladies that may not necessarily have done their research to come down here. What percentage markup would you say that there is between Dominican price of goods and the gringo price?
Dominican price and the gringo price is probably a 250% markup.
Yeah.
Dominicans would get maybe 50 pesos, 100 pesos, where the gringos would have to pay 250 to 300, maybe 400, depending on if they negotiate. Because once you say how much is it, the price is times 4 instead of cuánto dineros. Just as simple as saying that right there, cuánto dineros, how much money.
Yeah.
Can save you a lot. If you don't know any Spanish, try to pick up on the basics enough to get you from the airport to the cab to your hotel and back. That right there, that basicness will get you far over here. You don't have to learn every word in Spanish, but try to dabble and babble in the conversation.
What would you say about the taxi drivers, the cab drivers? Because I noticed that a lot of people have overpaid taxi drivers, and that's not necessarily cutting into their business, but people paying as much as 2 trips for just 1 trip.
Well, they don't run meters over here, so it's really hard to say. You're kind of at the liberty and the mercy of the cab driver when he says it. If you know and you've been going to an area multiple times and you start to get, like, forget a Puerto Plata, usually is 200 to 300 pesos, but if you got 2-3 people with you, you're going, y'all are burning AC and got the music playing and loud, and y'all might get hit for a little more. So they know exactly who to target and who to run prices on.
That's one thing that we always like to talk about, understanding how much things cost in the Dominican Republic, because you'll enjoy your trip better if you actually understand the culture, understand how much things are, and actually understand how to move down in the Dominican Republic. Now, how long did it take you to actually adjust to being here?
I still really haven't adjusted. It's a completely different way of life. I'm walking a lot more, so that's better. I'm in the gym because it's right up there. A lot of things are a lot more closer and convenient. Wi-Fi isn't the best. I had to get an international plan when I came down here, so that was a little bit more expensive. But I came for what I wanted. I came down here to get the crustaceans, get the beach and sand, and live that life for a little while.
Let's talk about the difference between areas like beach towns like Cabarete and Sosúa and Santiago, with a big city.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. So when I first moved here, I moved to Cabarete, then I moved to Sosúa, then Puerto Plata. but I started to branch off and go to Santiago. You've been to Santiago with me a few times, correct?
Nothing to play golf with.
Yeah, so we actually went to go to the golf course. It's another recreational sport you can play here in the Dominican Republic. Beautiful beaches and beautiful golf courses. But what would you say was the main difference between Santiago and a beach town like Sosúa?
The size, for one. Santiago is much bigger, more practical. Sosúa is really a small little tourist town, man. That's where a lot of the gringos come to let their hair down, so to speak. I don't know if this is an 18 and up channel or what, but they come down here to let their hair down.
Yeah.
And they let someone braid it and wash it for them, to speak loosely.
Yeah,
Santiago, you got a little bit more. I mean, I haven't seen the McDonald's out here. I haven't seen churches and all that kind of shit. You got all that. It's a lot more cosmetics there. If you want to get any kind of Botox or any kind of teeth work done or any kind of body work done, it's on every corner there, like liquor stores in America. But as far as here, you just got. This is a specific base town for what people come here for. Santiago is more of a tourist. I don't think there's any water around Santiago.
Yeah. Santiago's more like a big city. It's not really touristy like a Sosúa or Cabarete.
Yeah. Cabarete Port Blair is nice. You got a player. What is the player Cabarete?
Yeah, Playa Cabarete.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's a really nice beach to go to if you enjoy jogging, kite surfing. Well, I wouldn't suggest swimming because a lot of people I would say it's not unless you're a strong swimmer, don't start swimming on Cabarete Beach. But Sosúa is fairly safe. Puerto Plata, that beach is safe. Now, have you done any sports or anything here, or just mainly stuck inside the gym?
It's just been gym. Throwing the football down on the beach. You come here to be a beach bum. I haven't seen any. It's a lot of some baseball fields around and all that. I haven't seen anybody doing any recreational basketball. I've seen a few basketball goals. I had a friend down here who played for the team, so I would go over to Puerto Plata and watch him. But outside of that, no, I haven't done any recreation outside of the golf that we do.
And from the amount of time that you've been here so far, what type of trends are you seeing? Where do you see the Dominican Republic going within the next 3 to 5 years?
It's really hard for me to tell because I was, like I said, during the COVID lockdown, and we had a lot of different restraints that we've been juggling with out here. When I say we, I mean here because I'm here. But from the little ads and the memes and the posts that I've seen, they're going to put like $3 million. I see a lot of construction up and down the main street. I heard they're going to do some rezoning. So when I come back out, I think it's going to be completely different. They're doing a lot. You can see a lot of the work, a lot of the restaurants that are new to be there aren't there anymore, and they're moving. Like Classico is no longer. Rumba's expanded. Treehouse is on the beach and also in the city. Was it Lower Bate? Sosúa Bate? Bajo?
Sosúa Bajo.
Bajo, yeah.
Yes, Sosúa Bajo.
This is one of the B's. Yeah, learning Spanish and learning the basics around here. You won't get lost. It's only 3 streets.
Yeah, there's only 3 big streets in Sosúa. Also, what would you say about the cost of living? Because Sosúa itself is expensive for a Dominican town, but how would you compare that to a place in the United States of America?
Well, like you say, the inflation, and once you get here and you know better, and you kind of get the donkey face, because you feel like you've been gypped. But I mean, I got a nice 1-bedroom, 1 bath overlooking one of the biggest resorts here, and it's less than $500 a month, so all included at that. So it's definitely a place of leisure if you can balance your life. If you're not a lush, a sloth, or you're suffering from any of the 7 deadly sins, it's a great place to live.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to live. You'll find places here easy for under $500. Everything included: furniture,
pools,
TV, cable, swimming pool, so everything. Now, so do you have any questions for me?
No, but it was a great interview.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, champ.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
Thanks.